Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of the Fishing Teacher, and thanks a lot for taking a little time out of your day to check the video. Definitely appreciate that. And today we're going to be talking about current and how current affects fish, because current is a factor in almost any, lake or river that you fish, unless you fish some type of a man-made lake. And then current is even a factor in those situations because a lot of people don't realize it, but wind will create current as well in the water. So we're going to get into that a little bit and sort of give you guys a foundational understanding of current. So when you're talking about rivers or streams or man-made impoundments, that type of stuff, there's always going to be current present, to differing degrees. Some reservoirs, like say for example, some of your Alabama reservoirs like on Lay Lake have a lot of current throughout the day, and then some reservoirs, like for example Table Rock Lake here in Missouri, you don't have much current unless the Corps of Engineers is generating power and pulling water through the lake that creates current. But nevertheless, you're going to have to deal with it at some point. So let's talk a little bit about current and how it affects fish. We're going to break it up in two different things. Let's talk about rivers and streams, and then let's talk about man-made impoundments a little bit. First of all, if you've done a lot of creek wading like I have, you learn real quick that bass, and not just bass, but any type of fish, trout, whatever, they prefer what's called current breaks or current eddies. And that's, for example, if you've got a stream or river and you've got a big rock say you got a rock as big as your car hood in the water, you're going to have the face of that rock getting pummeled with current and water. And then on the back side of it, you're going to have an eddy pool where the current flow has been broken up and it's swirling around, and you don't have that current present. Now, those are natural areas for fish to hide in, simply because any type of a current break, it offers a little bit of protection from the fish where they don't have to expel as much energy to, stay in the current and stay upright. So current breaks are going to be key areas in any natural any natural river or stream that you fish. So that's where you want to target at. You can always catch fish wading creeks or in a river around some type of current break. Now that current break can be created by a lot of different stuff. It can be created by rocks, wood, man-made structures like, riprap or, pieces of concrete, or just a log in the water. Anything that breaks current will create an eddy to some extent. And those are usually always where the fish are at in those type of those type of bodies of water. Now, the man-made reservoir is a little bit different because you don't have a consistent current. A creek or a river has a consistent current, and it changes based upon how much water is coming down through there. But nevertheless, the current is constantly, moving through there. A man-made impoundment, not so much. There may be minimal amounts of current. Sometimes there's no current, or there can be significant current based upon how much power generation is going on there. Generally, what you'll find in a man-made impoundment is anytime they're generating a lot of water, that tends to make the fishing a little bit better. It's like the entire ecosystem is more active. The bait fish are active, the fish are on the move a little bit more. It's just a little bit better environment. And for the most part, in lakes, the current eddies and breaks are not as important because you don't have as much current in there. A lot of times you can have some current in a lake and it creates just a little bit of water movement, but it's not enough current to actually force the bass to seek cover in eddies or current breaks. So a lot of times they'll still be out in there in the thicker parts of the current or in the faster parts of the current and not really seek those eddy breaks. A lot of people think, and here's one of the big myths and misconceptions of fishing. I hear a lot of people say, well, you need to cast upstream and bring your lure down the current because, so the fish are facing in the current all the time and they can see your bait coming down through there. I have not found this to be true that much, guys. I have caught just as many fish casting with the current because what you have is you have a lot of current breaks under the water that you can't see. The only current breaks that you can see are the ones that are visible above the surface, but you may have some structure or underwater objects underneath the water that you don't know are there, and those fish will relate to those type of areas, but you don't have to necessarily cast, upstream and bring it downstream. I've caught a bunch of fish, on the upside part of the current break. So if, say, for example, we're talking about the rock in the stream, I've caught a lot of fish like in front of logs where there's just a light to moderate current, as I have behind it. So bass will relate to cover to some extent, regardless in those type of situations. But the main thing about that is current will help position fish a little bit. They're always going to be around a current break, even though they may not be in the back side of the current break. They're always around some type of a current break. So the thing that you want to look for is something that will break that current. Other than that, if the current isn't that significant, just use it as a positive, because, current always generates fish into bite a little bit more. So hope that makes sense, guys. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all next time.